武士道ルネサンス9のカッコ3です。ここでは第7章誠で所読した部分に該当する英語の原文を読んでいきます。皆さんはこのままお聞きください。69ページです。Veracity and sincerity. Without veracity and sincerity, politeness is a farce and a show. Propriety carried beyond right bounds, says Masamune, becomes a lie. 同じく69ページです。The apotheosis of sincerity to which Confucius gives expression and the doctrine of the man attributes to it transcendental powers, almost identifying them with the divine. Sincerity is the end and the beginning of all things. Without sincerity, there would be nothing. He then dwells with eloquence on its far-reaching and long-enduring nature, its power to produce changes without movement, and by its mere presence to accomplish its purpose without effort. From the Chinese ideogram for sincerity, which is a combination of word and perfect, one is tempted to draw a parallel between it and the Neoplatonic doctrine of Logos, to such height that the sage soared in his unwonted mystic flight. Lying or equivocation were deemed equally cowardly. The Bushi held that his high social position demanded a loftier standard of veracity than that of the tradesman and peasant. 同じく69ページです。武士の一言 The word of a samurai, or an exact German equivalent Ritterwald, was sufficiently guarantee for the truthfulness of an assertion. His word carried such weight with it that promises were generally made and fulfilled without a written pledge, which would have been deemed quite beneath his dignity. Many thrilling anecdotes were told of those who atoned by death for Ningon, a double tongue. The regard for veracity was so high that, unlike the generality of Christians who persistently violate the plain commands of the teacher not to swear, the best of samurai looked upon an oath as derogatory to their honor. 73ページです。Those who are well acquainted with our history will remember that only a few years after our treaty ports were opened to foreign trade, feudalism was abolished, and when with it the samurai's fiefs were taken in bonds issued to them in compensation. They were given liberty to invest them in mercantile transactions. Now you may ask, why could they not bring their much boasted veracity into their new business relations and so reform the old abuses? 同じく73ページです。Those who had eyes to see couldn't weep enough. Those who had hearts to feel couldn't sympathize enough with the fate of many a noble and honest samurai who signally and irrevocably failed in his new and unfamiliar field of trade and industry, through sheer lack of shrewdness in coping with his artful plebeian rival. 74ページです。It will be long before it will be recognized how many fortunes were wrecked in the attempt to apply Bushido ethics to business methods. But it was soon patent to every observing mind that the ways of wealth were not the ways of honor. Of the three incentives to veracity that Lecky enumerates, viz., the industrial, the political, and the philosophical, the first was altogether lacking in Bushido. As to the second, it could develop little in the political community under a feudal system. It is in its philosophical and, as Lecky says, in its highest aspect, that honesty attained elevated rank in the catalogue of virtues. 同じく74ページです。With all my sincere regard for the high commercial integrity of the Anglo-Saxon race, when I ask for the ultimate ground, I am told that honesty is the best policy, that it pays to be honest. Is not this virtue, then, its own reward? If it is followed because it brings in more cash than falsehood, I am afraid Bushido will rather indulge in lies. If Bushido rejects a doctrine of quid pro quo rewards, the shrewd tradesman will readily accept it. 76ページです。Often have I wondered whether the veracity of Bushido had any motive higher than courage. In the absence of any positive commandment against bearing false witness, lying was not condemned as sin, but simply denounced as weakness, and as such highly dishonorable. As a matter of fact, the idea of honesty is so intimately blended in its Latin and its German etymology, so identified with honor, that it is high time I should pause a few moments for the consideration of this feature of the precepts of knighthood. 今日はこれで武士道ルネサンス9の括弧1、括弧2、括弧3を終わります。次は武士道ルネサンスシリーズの第10回目、武士道ルネサンス10の括弧1、括弧2、括弧3をお送りします。第8章名誉です。楽しみにお待ちください。それでは皆さん、次回までごきげんよう。さようなら。